Yo, what is up guys, it's Midsar here, or Blaine, as a lot of people also know me as. This is a video. I know I normally do gaming content on my channel, but within the last year, I've gotten really into disc golf, so I decided to go compete in my first tournament, and I streamed it live on Twitch. I've been, every once in a while I'm going out and playing disc golf, I'll stream it on Twitch, so if you want to give me a follow over there, that would be much appreciated. But yeah, this is my first tournament. Went into it pretty open-minded. It was a course that I've played quite a bit. I would consider it one of my home courses. So it's a more known course to me. I knew every hole. I really knew what I wanted to do on it. There wasn't really too many unknowns with this course. I would say I've probably played this course close to 15, in between 15 and 20 times. So yeah, it was a fun tournament. Really good guys to play with. As you just saw right there, that was my friend Michael. I'll probably refer to him as Mike, not by his full name for the rest of the video. This guy that's about to be throwing right now, his name is Eddie. Funny story, he just moved out here, I think he said less than a year ago, from San Diego. And, he was talking about how some of the stereotypes from Texas, like the Texas wind, the Texas heat, it's different. It's definitely different than out there in Cali. That's for sure. So here I am. I had my friend Lyndon be the cameraman. He didn't do the best work, but he's not a professional cameraman. I just asked him to come out and film. So, but missed my first shot. I released it low. I'm not sure if it was the nerves or what was going on. And with that shot, I also released it low, but I don't know if it was it stayed nose up enough to where it just kind of glided to the basket. And I think it went about 10 feet past the basket, if I remember correctly from the tournament. The tournament was yesterday, and I'm recording this for voiceover the next day, so it's still pretty fresh. This guy, his name is Josue, also a really good guy. He has really solid forehand and backhand, so he just had some unfortunate breaks throughout the day. That happen to anyone. Anyone can have a bad day on the course. It happens. We've all been there. And then the last guy that you see right there in the red shirt and white hat, his name was Christian. I believe it was his first tournament, but this was also kind of his home course-ish. I think he said he was pretty close to this course. But the shot that you just saw before from Michael, he actually took from his out-of-bounds lie. And if you don't really know too much about disc golf, one of the rules when you go out of bounds, you have to throw your next shot from where the disc went out of bounds at. And common places for out of bounds is like going over the little road you see there. All water's out of bounds, obviously. Also, like you see the fence over there in the background. You go over the fence. That is most likely going to be out of bounds as well. There are, when you get to different courses and such, there's stuff like there can be like a little creek, like a dry creek, that can be marked as out of bounds. That's up to the tournament director and whoever designed the course, whatever. That's all up to them. And then also when you get to like really high level courses, when they have there's some courses that are along golf greens and such, and there can be courses that the basket will be probably like 10 feet past like a golf green, and that'll be like the golf green will be out of bounds, so you have to make sure to get past that golf green. But right here, stepped up, that was about a 10-15 foot putt for par, so it was nice to definitely get a par on the first hole. Felt good, really. I wouldn't say I had too many nerves playing this tournament. I don't know if it was because I I had played this course many times before, so I knew what I was getting into. And it was a kind of windy day. Like you can see the tree up there to the right. Um, it's kind of getting a little pushed around in the wind. That was not my shot, I don't believe. My shot, I don't think, was caught on camera here. But this par 3, this hole 2, par 3, 251. Um, it is over water just about the whole way. The basket, I would say, is about 30 feet from the water's edge. This was Eddie's shot. It was a great ace run. I mean, I think it was maybe 2 feet over the top of the basket, but it was dead on, dead straight in line with it. I think the shot before Eddie was, I believe that was Josue, that shot. And that one that just threw, I believe that one was either Christian or Michael. And I don't see, is there a shot coming up here? I believe so. Yep, there it goes. I believe that one was Michael's, and the one before that was Christian's. But here we are on the putting green. I don't know if you could see it too well there, but I had just let my jump putt go right when that clip started, and you know, it was the jump putt for birdie. I came up a little short, I believe, and it slid past the basket. Michael here hits a little low, hits the cage. You know, tough. Michael had a rough start. He, I think he took a +2 on the first hole. And then we have Eddie putting for, I believe this is birdie here. Michael's a little in the basket. But Eddie's hit, I believe it was right side chains and just didn't catch. And fell out. Then we got Christian for birdie here. Like I said, I apologize for the shakiness and everything. Lennon, first time cameraman. But Christian goes ahead, gets the birdie there, which is really nice. I think, yeah, I'm about to putt for par. Another 10-footer, or even less, honestly. I think Lennon got this on camera. Yeah. Eddie, unfortunate, very unfortunate. He just kept the bag on. He even said it. He said, that's why you don't keep your bag on when you do a tap-in putt. And that's something I can attest to. When I play, and to top it all off, he hits chains and it chains out. So Eddie goes +2 here, which is just rough. But yeah, it was definitely very bad for Eddie here. Mike, I think, cleans up the par there. But moving on to hole 3, we go par 3, 382. This hole, we had a tailwind, which normally, I don't know why I didn't. I normally hang out over the water a little to the right and let it come back. I don't know if I was just scared with the tailwinds was going to push my disc down and was going to push the disc down and not let it get enough distance to carry out over that water. So when I threw, I aimed a little more left, and same thing happened. I don't know what Christian's normal play is, but he pulled a little left and hit there's a tree in the fairway. But yeah, here I was throwing my G-Star Destroyer. Honestly, it's probably my go-to distance driver. As you can see, I'd like to get that a little more right because it ends up catching up in that tree. Yeah, it was a nice day. It was a nice day. It was really hot. I think the feels like for this day was 110 degrees, which is a scorcher. You know, we are in Texas. It does get very hot here in Texas. We're approaching summer, where that is gonna be the normal. But as long as you have enough water, you're used to the heat. You know, it's not that bad. Interesting thing here on Michael's shot. Mike hung it out over the water, and you can't see it on camera, but he ended up catching the edge of the bank. He didn't hit water or anything. Skipped off the edge of the bank, and was up on the hill, like up on some more of like the green area, but then it rolled all the way back down into the water, which is just an unlucky break. I think Eddie here gets really left. This is a tough hole because as you can see Josue over there in the white. That little woods area right past that is a swamp, so it is a little really tough here. Michael takes a shot from the drop zone. I think he gets pretty close. He gets pretty close for the putt. You catch Josue. He got a lot of shots. They will get saved by those woods right there, so they won't go into that swamp because that's like thick brush and like thick like little trees that are all right there. So most shots do get saved by that, and they don't trickle down to the swamp. But it's a thin fairway with water right and left, and then if you get in that brush, then it's definitely tough. That was my upshot right there. I believe it got within about, I think it got within 10 feet of the basket, so had a little tap in. Christian hits a little nice 20-footer. Good putt. Nice putt to hit earlier on in the round. Always good to get the confidence up a little bit. Funny story. Me and Eddie, who's putting right now, we both putt with the exact same putter, the exact same runs and stamps and everything. We both putt with PA3s, the Halloween 2021 editions. So that was a good thing to see. I saw him putting, or I saw his putter in his hand, and I was like, I asked Michael, you really hate to see it. Hate to see missing those. I looked and I saw, and I was like, a man of culture. I see that, you gotta get the unique putters. Everyone putts with these normal AVRs, AVRX3s, all this different type of stuff. Just get the nice PA3 and the Halloween stamp. For this hole 4, it's par 3. It's 217 feet. It is 217 feet just straight if you went straight, but straight is not the ideal path here because that path has a lot of trees if you just went straight. So there is a nice hyzer route. It's a pretty difficult gap to hit. I don't hit it often. I've hit it a couple times. I'm still kind of a beginner and couldn't really see it there, but I definitely doinked off of that tree that was directly right of the tee pad. had a little doink right there. And Josue does the forehand route. There is also a forehand route. The forehand route, I think, is a lot tighter than the backhand hyzer route. And I don't really have a good forehand, so I normally just try to go the backhand hyzer route, as Eddie throws it perfectly here. He threw the backhand hyzer perfectly. You'll see Michael goes with the forehand as well. I don't have a good forehand, but with the forehand route, it brings so many more trees into question. Because as now I've had a bad kick, and that's the forehand route. That I was still online for the forehand route from there, and I end up hitting a tree. So I end up just jump putting my upshot here. Just getting it up there for the tap-in bogey. Michael here getting his putt. I asked him right after he did this, why didn't he jump putt? Because if he jumps putts that, I think he gets at least enough power to get there. This is Christian putting for par. He had not the best upshot. But there's a tailwind. That putting, that was about a 30-footer with the tailwinds. It just, kills it. Makes the putt drop. And I'm tapping in for my bogey here. I'm not a fan of the woods. I believe Lyndon was asking Michael a question here. I think he was asking if it was his ideal start, as I think he's +4 at this point through 4, which is no one's ideal start, honestly. Hole 5, this is a par 3, 360. This one, it's really tough if you don't have a nice turnover backhand or a forehand. If you don't have either of those, this is a tough hole. It's low ceiling, tunnel, and honestly really punishing if you get left. You can get by with getting right, as those trees, as Michael throws a great forehand shot here. Those trees, you can get through those trees and it's open more towards that building right there. So the right side is definitely less punishing than the left side, because the left side just has so many trees and it basically just takes par out of the question almost. Because a lot of times you just have to pitch out if you're on the left, and then you're looking at 80 feet for a par. And Christian, he hits a bad skip off of that dirt right there, and he ends up very far left. Josue also ended up very far left, but he got down there quite a ways. And then it is me. My forehand just rose on me, and I am stuck in a place you do not want to be in. Probably about 100 feet off the tee. I looked at my options every single way. I didn't get enough anhyzer on that shot. If I would have got some anhyzer, I think I would have been in a better position. And as you can see, this is what Christian is left with when he gets left. It's just, you pitch out there, and that was a great shot by him, but he's still left with about like a 50-60 footer for par. And that's what's tough about this hole. It's a great design. Good designed hole, just very difficult hole. As you can see, Josue is left, but he got more distance, and he does just barely clip a tree as he was going out of there. Right there, I believe you saw to the right, you saw Josue's upshot. My jump putt approach left me a lot of meat on the bone, which is, again, not ideal. I could have played this hole a lot better. I do struggle with this hole because I don't have the forehand for it, and I don't have the consistent backhand turnover, as that was Eddie's upshot, as he had a great backhand turnover, but I think it almost turned over into a roller, and then it cut rolled. That was probably 80 to 100 feet past the basket, as this is me putting for bogey. And, oh, there goes Josue. But this is going to be my putt for bogey here. Pick up the grass, look, I'm like, oh, it's a headwind, that's fun. We all love putting into headwinds. If you know anything about putting into headwinds, when you put into a headwind, the disc lifts. So I released a little lower than normal, and I was still low. The headwind helped my disc almost get there, but I was low by about half an inch. As Michael, that was his putt for par, chains out. But back to Eddie's drive. He had a great backhand turnover, but it turned over way too much and cut rolled, like I said, probably 80 to 100 feet left of the basket back into the woods. So that was a great upshot by him to get save the par. As you can see, Josue's shirt is ripping in the wind. Texas winds, they do not calm down ever, man. They are brutal. They are very, very brutal. Christian taps in. I believe that was his bogey putt, and this is also Mike's bogey putt. And then I go in for my double bogey. We're on to hole 6. It's a par 3, 293. It's a 293 that feels a lot farther than 293 because it is uphill and it is a hard gap to hit. You can't even see the gap from here. I would say the gap is about 50 feet off the tee, and you have to hit it in between two trees that are probably 15 feet apart. For us all playing novice and rec divisions, we all did pretty good jobs at hitting the gap. Normally when I play through with friends on this hole, someone smacks one of those trees. Christian's throw here, he did get a little lucky to get through the gap. He threw a little low and got a great skip up off the hill. And you can see he's like, that just happened. He was like, oh, wow. But ended up being a good result. I believe, looking at the scores right now, I think Eddie would be +1. I am +3. I think Josue was around +3 right now, and Christian was +2 maybe. I think that's where the scores are sitting around here. Josue had a great shot here as well. This was definitely one of my better shots of the tournament. This tee shot, I always throw my Discraft Scorch. Very underrated hyzer flip disc in my opinion. It has a lot of glide. Like, that thing just, it never wants to sit down. You see Eddie here going big, putting a lot of height under that. Really nice, good run by him, honestly. I would never run it like that. So I think that was Josue that putted there. Yeah, I think he just missed for his birdie. I putt, get the first birdie of the tournament. Makes you feel really good when you get that first birdie of the tournament. Especially after going +3 in 2 holes to get a birdie and kind of cut into that little deficit that you put yourself in. Feels really good. Feels nice. I believe Josue went par, Christian went par, Eddie went par, and Mike went par. So everyone parred on that hole except for me. So gain a stroke on the card feels nice. This is hole 7. I forgot. I think they said 328, but it's par 3. This one kind of the opposite of the last hole that we played. It is wide open off the tee. OB to the right of that fence. That fence can come into play, definitely. I have gone over that road a couple times, almost hit a couple cars. Very sketchy when if you throw something understable or you throw something that's stable into a headwind here, it definitely has the chance of flipping over and going over that fence and over to the road. As Josue just misfires there, but still ended up in a decent position. Can definitely still scramble to get the par. But we did miss, I believe, me, Michael, and Eddie's shots here. Lyndon had to take a phone call and didn't have the best recording angle. But Josue gets himself within circles 1. Same thing with Christian on his upshot. Mike, Linden actually gets a really nice view here of Mike. Gets right up close. You'd see the angle of his release and everything really good here. And he does throw it on a lot of Anheuser here. And I believe that was his pig, and it just held that. And he was probably about 20, 25 feet here just for a jump. But I was running that. It was just, I definitely was just too far right. The wind here for that putt for me, also, what a putt from Eddie. Probably like a 60-footer, runs it in, loses the hat, still has the cigarette in hand. That's an athlete right there. But I was going for that putt, but it ended up, I think it was a left to right from where I was putting from, and I hung it out right because I wanted my putt to kind of hyzer back into the basket, but that wind really did not let it do that. Right there, you see me throw my hands up? There was a car. There was the Mustang. It slowed down, honked, and it was some kind of modified exhaust that was so loud, and it honked and then just took off and was loud as hell right when Michael was trying to putt. So I don't even blame him for missing that putt, honestly. That's just like that whoever that was uncalled for. Here we go, hole 8, par 3, 351. This one, definitely interesting. You want to get it out right, but it's also kind of a low ceiling. There are some phantom branches there that you definitely don't bring into account. That Eddie does end up catching one of those phantom branches. But there's a route where right to the right, you just throw something that you can get straight and will fade back at the end. The basket is up on a little hill, so I had a pretty solid drive here. I didn't get the distance I wanted because I wanted to get a little more control, get it a little straighter. You know, when you're trying to control your shots a little more, it's okay to take a little power off of it. I believe Christian, I forgot where Christian ends up on this hole. I think he ends up pretty close. He ends up on the hill. I think he's in circle 1, honestly, or edge of circle, something like that. I think Michael is throwing a Zeus here. If I remember correctly, he's throwing a Zeus here. And he gets his Zeus turned over. But like I said, now that we're throwing the opposite way of that I was putting earlier, it's a right to left, so he got that disc turned over, but the wind helped to get back, so not really the worst. He's out there. He's down near the basket. Probably, I would say I think he was a little less than pin high, but about 60 feet out. And now we're throwing back to where that little swamp is at from hole 3. And Josue, he flirts with it. He gets close, but he does not go in, luckily. Right here, I believe this is Eddie's shots that comes into frame. And he just absolutely parks his upshot for the par whenever it comes on camera. I do not remember when. There we go. But yeah, no, he absolutely parked his upshot. He gets himself the par after catching one of those lower hanging branches. I think we are... Oh yeah, Josue had his upshots from the trees. Little nice shot there of Mike. You know, I was left with about... I think this is about a 50-footer. You know, just toss it up there. Didn't really want to go far because it slopes down back at the other side of that hill. Don't want to go far and roll down the hill into the swamp. Don't want to bring that into play, so just lay it up for a little tap in. I think we missed Mike's upshot, but you know, it's close enough to get his par. And here at the end of the round here, believe I'm sitting at +3 with this par, which is, you know, it's very nice. Eddie taps in his par. Unfortunately, Josue did have a little bit of trouble on this hole. He had a rough time from where his lie was off the drive. Like I said, it happens. Everyone can get some bad breaks sometimes. Eddie with he gets through a branch on one of that first tree right there that you see it's a little farther out. He gets through one of those branches and gets, I think he was probably about 30 away from the pin. I forgot the distance. I think it's about 380, if I remember correctly. It's around 380 for hole 9. I went my trespass. I got it flipped up, and it flipped over just a little bit and caught that second tree down there and kicked out left. So it was almost ideally a great little straight shot. I was probably about 2 or 3 inches from having a just perfect line drive. Christian here, I forgot this. I think this is his buzz. Christian honestly has a lot of power. He can throw that buzz, man. He has a lot of power. Michael going with his Hades, I believe. Maybe? Oh, no. Michael went with his Drew Gibson Era. And he gets it flipped over a little bit and hits that first tree, which is tough. Tough spot to have to be. Josue just trying to have a little fun after the rough last hole. Faking out the 360. Josue had a great drive here. I think it does catch a tree right at the end of his drive, but it was honestly really good. And if it would not have caught that tree, it would have been, he probably would have had a long jump putt, a long 60-foot look at it if it wouldn't have caught one of those trees. As you can see, I was up next, and this was just a mistake. If I would have given that 10% less power, that's parked. But I ended up probably at like 30 past the basket. Josue hits cage, and just unfortunate. I believe this is going to be, yep, this cuts to my comebacker putt, and I just miss a little over the top. You know, that was my putt for par, and we're now getting to Eddie's putt for birdie. So, gotta love that, honestly. But, you know, Eddie's getting to this putt for birdie. He does knock it down. So I think that brings him back to even on the round after his no, I think that brings him to -1 on the round, because he had his little roll away on hole 2 where he took his double, and I think this is Christian that's gonna knock in his par putt here. I smoked too soon. Christian, that was his par putt, but he did not knock it down. I knock out the putt for bogey. Always feels good to make a putt, but just not for bogey, you know? Lyndon puts the camera on me a little bit, you know. I think I ended +4. Josue turbos it in. But yeah, that was the front 9 of my first tourney. You know, I will be back with the back 9. I'm not sure how soon, but it should be up within 24 hours of this 9 coming out. So, thanks for watching, y'all. Y'all have a great time. Don't be too hard on yourselves, and peace. Peace.